evening, everyone. This is group representation of Group 19 Computer Science Final Year Project. We are presenting the concept paper of our project. It's a little bit rainy this evening, and we would like to apologize for the sounds that may be recorded in the background, but we hope that our voices and explanations will be as clear as possible. The title of our project is Explainable AI, or Explainable Artificial Intelligence and Deep Transfer Learning for Skin Disease Diagnosis. The concept paper aims at describing a tool that can be potentially used in support systems for interpretable diagnosis of skin diseases. The approach that will be taken and the overall objective will be to create a system that is a decision support system that can be used in various imagery data problems, and specific to this problem we shall be tackling the problem of skin detection and diagnosis, and we shall be applying procedures that are taken in order to make sure that particular decisions can be made and explained by the model that will be selected by the team. Diagnosis is a basis of any treatment an individual may receive from a medical personnel. These treatments could come from various entities, although, so to say. The treatments could come from a detection system that is probably based on traditional machine learning methods that have been applied. Probably it could be based on decision trees, random forest, and it could also be based on maybe a traditional AI-based system, probably using artificial neural networks, vanilla neural networks. At the same time, a diagnosis could be based on deep learning intelligent systems, which is what we are trying to do here. And basically that's about a diagnosis, because the project overall objective is to tackle the problem of diagnosis, to discern between multiple skin disorders. Accurate diagnosis is very important in such a way that it saves much time in terms of the patient's time and the medical personnel's time. In this case, it will be the dermatologists. We plan to work with dermatologists and to ease their work, and our research is going to be able to ease their work, maybe in a setting where we would have very low income that has been invested in health services towards dermatology. The skin plays a vital role in the human body in terms of temperature regulation, body fluids, and providing protection, and therefore it is such a very important aspect of the body. Therefore, any infections that might affect the skin will generally infect the entire body at large. It is very important, therefore, to develop a detection framework that can diagnose diseases that may, or disorders that may interact with the daily functionings of the human skin. Our approaches are going to be two in brief, or a couple, and the first one is going to be explainable artificial intelligence. Explainable artificial intelligence is a field that is concerned with developing new constraints that explain and interpret machine learning models, their predictions, their decisions, and their internal representations. Explainable AI is divided into a couple of things, and most of the two most divisions of explainable AI are: we could seek to represent a model in terms of its internal representations, in terms of its activations and gradients. Then we could also seek to represent a model, or to explain a model in terms of the decisions it makes after it learns and it is trained on the data that we shall be providing to it. We will want to explain its predictions. This is very important in high-stake decision making, where we would have stakeholders who are much concerned with understanding and developing trust towards the developed models. On the other hand, Explainable AI seeks to apply these fields. It seeks to apply interpretability methods in image analysis, and this is trying to increase the overall adoption of artificial intelligence in medical imaging. Deep transfer learning, on the other hand, has been a technique that has been used in applying knowledge that has been learned from one model and then applying it on a different problem in the same classification or in the same application domain. And we hope to use deep transfer learning as a method or as part of our methodology. The problem statement still goes back to skin diseases. Basically, skin diseases skin diseases have proven to be a burden in the context of global health and one of the most widespread illnesses in the world. Since it is a contagious disease, most times people never know what are the first steps, or they never actually have tools to help them diagnose or to give them the first aid diagnosis that they would need in case in the first early days of a given skin disorder. So accurate skin diagnosis is actually very important, but it's very time consuming in the field of dermatology. It usually takes very complex methods, and dermatologists should carry out these methods with precision. Basically, the methods are time consuming and they are very costly in some cases. In order for the dermatologist to decide with precision the skin disorder the person is facing. Time taken to get results usually ranges for a number of reasons, and these reasons vary from the dermatologist's expertise in the field to the nature of the test that's being carried out, and again, the given infection that's under investigation or under detection. Dermatological disorders are one of the most widespread human illnesses. We have already discussed something like that. And basically, procedural processes for diagnosing skin disorders are symptom analysis, skin scraping, patient history. That's where the dermatologist would probably look at the patient's history with any skin disorders, maybe probably in their family. Visual inspections, dermoscopic examinations. These are conventional methods or traditional medical methods that are used in the field, or that are used in the study of the skin, the human skin, to detect these skin disorders. And as we're saying, that these processes or these experiments are costly, and sometimes you may find that they are not accessible to areas where maybe the local authorities have not invested so much in healthcare services. This leaves some places with inadequate or with little or no access to dermatological services. The significance of our study is that we shall apply explainable AI and interpretability methods, as well as deep transfer learning, to the problem of skin diagnosis and skin disorders detection. Over the past few years, there has been a role in the importance of explainability and interpretability of the decisions and predictions made by machine learning models that are involved in high-stake decision making, such as medical diagnosis, governance, to mention but a few. And our research seeks to apply these techniques in this problem in order to explain and to be able to explain the model's predictions in relation to skin diagnosis. This will also increase the trust. It will also increase the adoption of these methods towards skin diagnosis. The project scope, we shall be classifying 10 diseases to be exact, and these diseases have been lined. They include melanoma. They are kind of biological terms, so I would kindly request to read a few. There is eczema, there is rosacea, to mention but a few. Vesicular tumors, systemic disease, There are many diseases that can be diagnosed in this field, but we have chosen these 10 diseases for our research. Probably in our future research we shall increase the number of diseases that can be diagnosed from the learning that has taken place. And our project or our research seeks to use explainable AI, deep transfer learning, and convolutional networks in specific. The research questions of our project will be to what extent can deep learning be used in to what extent can deep learning be used to what extent can deep learning be used to develop or to justify the deployment of a machine learning model maybe in the public, and we are trying to use explainable AI to determine this extent or to justify the deployment that we shall be doing. Our methodology will be basically a neural network based architecture where we shall carry out some data preprocessing techniques, we shall carry out some data collection, we shall carry out data preprocessing through a pipeline that will be developed and will comprise of a number of processes that include data augmentation, standardization, normalization, to mention but a few, and the pre-trained models will be used in the process. Basically, we shall get a pre-trained transfer learning model and then do feature extraction on top of that model, and then we shall train the last multi-layer perceptron, which shall contain like a few dense layers, and then on top of this we shall perform explainable AI methods, techniques like gradient weighted class activation maps and layer-wise relevance propagation to explain the predictions that will be made by the model. Thank you very much. That was our presentation.